Vaadin Grid can efficiently show very large datasets because it's reusing DOM elements as you're scrolling down, instead of creating the entire DOM up front. Next, I'm going to show you how to create a lazy loading data source for your grid. The first thing we're going to do is define a data source function. This function takes in two parameters, a parameters object and a callback function. The parameters object defines which rows the grid needs at this specific time. In here, we're going to do an AJAX call to a backend server that we have. I'm going to take the index and count parameters from our parameters object and pass those to the backend so that we get the rows that we need. Once the request finishes, we're going to call the callback method and pass in the JSON that we got from the server. Now that we have that done, we need to figure out how large the entire dataset is. So to do that, we're going to do another AJAX call. In this case, I'm going to call a different endpoint that will just return the total count of objects in my database. Once that finishes, we're going to tell the grid that it sizes the value that we received from the server. Once the grid has a size, we can finally set the items to the data source function that we just created. And with that in place, we can see that the grid got populated. And if we open up the server log next to our window here and start scrolling, you can see that the grid is actually creating requests as we're scrolling down instead of fetching the full data set up front.